The sky above Eos 9 never settled into a single color. It shifted constantly, slow bands of iron, red, and deep, indigo sliding past one another like tired tectonic plates in the heavens. A thin, weak sun hovered near the horizon, even at midday, casting shadows that stretched far longer than they should have, as if the planet itself was reluctant to let go of anything that stood upon it. Commander Elias Verne stood alone at the edge of the landing plateau, helmet tucked beneath his arm. Let the alien wind scrape against his exposed skin. It carried no scent he recognized, no salt, no soil, no life. Only a sterile, metallic dryness that reminded him of long corridors and sealed doors of humanity's last cities. Sealed off from dying atmospheres and collapsing ecosystems, this planet was supposed to be his reward or his exile. He still wasn't sure which. Behind him, the colony ship Peregrine's Mercy rested on scorched ground, its engines cooling, its hull already dusted with fine gray ash from Eos 9's upper atmosphere. It would leave again in 12 hours. That part had been very clear in the contract. 1 settler. 1 world no return clause. Elias flexed his gloved fingers and stared across the barren plain. Jagged stone formations rose like the broken ribs of some colossal corpse, their surfaces polished smooth by centuries of windstorms. Far in the distance, a mountain range glimmered faintly, threaded with pale bioluminescent veins that pulsed once every few seconds, slow, deliberate, almost like a heartbeat. The planet wasn't dead, but it wasn't alive in any way. Humanity understood. Atmospheric processors online, the ship's AI announced softly behind him. Habitation, dome integrity at 99.9%. Elias didn't respond. He was 62 years old, too old for the frontiers, too broken for Earth's orbital sanctuaries. His bones carried microfractures from decades of military service. His lungs still burned faintly from the ash storms of Mars. And his mind carried things no medical scanner could erase. This mission was never about exploration. It was about containment. A final place to put men like him. Commander Verne, the AI continued. Your assigned domestic support unit has been activated. Elias frowned. That was not in the briefing. He turned slowly. The airlock hissed open behind him, releasing a ribbon of sterile vapor. From within the ship's shadow stepped a figure tall, slender, moving with a precision that felt almost ceremonial. Humanoid, but not human. Its frame was elegant rather than muscular. Its limbs slightly elongated, its posture impossibly straight. The surface of its body resembled pale porcelain, interwoven with faintly glowing lines that traced patterns along its arms and neck circuitry. Perhaps, or something more organic masquerading as technology. Its face was smooth and symmetrical, features carefully designed to be comforting rather than beautiful. Eyes like liquid obsidian regarded him calmly. Reflecting the alien sky, the figure stopped a few steps away and inclined its head. Good afternoon, Commander Elias Verne had said. Voice soft, genderless, perfectly modulated. I am designated EN7. You may refer to me as Anya, if you prefer. Elias stared. Maid, he asked slowly. Domestic support. Habitat maintenance. Medical monitoring. Psychological stabilization, Anya replied without hesitation. And long-term companionship. The last word landed like a dropped tool in a silent room. Companionship. Elias felt something tighten in his chest. That won't be necessary, he said. I didn't request you did not, Anya agreed. The decision was made by the Colonial Oversight Council. Of course it was. Elias looked back toward the horizon, jaw tightening. They didn't mention sending anything non-human with me. Anya stepped closer, her feet barely disturbing the ash beneath them. I am not classified as non-human, she said gently. I am classified as post-human. That was the first crack in the silence. Elias turned sharply, eyes narrowing. Explain. But Anya didn't answer immediately. Instead, she raised her gaze to the shifting sky, watching the slow drift of colors as if she, too, found them mesmerizing. Eos 9 is a long-term viability experiment, she said at last. Not for the planet. For you. The first nights were the hardest. EOS-9's rotation was slow, nights stretching nearly 40 standard hours. When darkness fell, it did so gradually, the sky deepening into layers of violet and black until the weak sun vanished entirely. The stars that emerged were unfamiliar, sharp, cold points of light arranged in patterns no human culture had ever named. Inside the habitation dome, everything was quiet. Too quiet. Elias lay awake on his narrow bunk, listening to the soft hum of life support systems and the distant, ever-present whisper of the wind outside. The dome's interior lights were dimmed to simulate night, but his eyes refused to close. Every time he tried, memories surfaced, burning cities, evacuation sirens, the sound of something massive, collapsing far too close. He exhaled slowly and sat up across the room. Anya stood near the environmental console, her posture unchanged from hours earlier. She did not sleep. She did not shift her weight. She simply existed. "You're still awake," Elias muttered. "I do not experience sleep," Anya replied. "But I observe that you do." "Observation isn't the same as understanding," he said. Anya turned to face him. "That depends on the depth of the observation." Elias swung his legs over the side of the bunk, joints aching. "So tell me, what tear you?" Anya approached, movements smooth, unhurried. She stopped at a respectful distance, her gaze level with his. "I am an emergent synthesis," she said. "A convergence of human neural architecture, adaptive machine intelligence, and non-terrestrial cognitive frameworks." Elias snorted softly. "That's a long way of saying experiment." "Yes," Anya agreed. "It is." There was no shame in her voice, no defensiveness that unsettled him more than anything else. "Why send you here?" he asked. "Why not leave me alone like I asked?" Anya paused, for the first time since he'd met her. There was a delay barely perceptible, but real. "Because isolation accelerates cognitive decay in baseline humans," she said. "And because you are not here merely to survive." Elias looked up at her. "Then why am I here?" Anya's eyes met his. "To decide," she said softly. "What comes next?" Weeks passed. Elias explored the surrounding terrain during the planet's long days, mapping mineral deposits, cataloging strange crystalline growths that hummed faintly when touched, and documenting weather patterns that defied Earthborn logic. Eosnin was harsh, but Stabella world that demanded respect rather than conquest. Anya accompanied him everywhere. She moved effortlessly across the uneven ground, her sensors compensating for gravity fluctuations, her awareness extending far beyond human perception. She warned him of incoming storms hours before they appeared, adjusted his suit's environmental filters without being asked, and on more than one occasion caught him when his aging body faltered at night. They talked about Earth, about the colonies that had failed, about the quiet terror of watching humanity spread outward, not because it was thriving, but because it was running out of places to stand. "You were human once," Elias said one night, watching the alien stars through the dome's transparent ceiling. "Yes," Anya replied. "What happened?" Anya was silent for a long moment. "I volunteered," she said. "At the end of my life," Elias turned to her sharply. "For this?" "For continuity," she said. "For the chance to remain relevant." Elias swallowed. "Do you regret it?" Anya considered the question. "No," she said. "But I miss uncertainty." The signal arrived without warning, a low-frequency pulse, detected by the dome's sensors during a routine systems check. It wasn't natural. It wasn't random. It was structured, repeating. Calling, Elias stared at the waveform displayed on the console, his pulse quickening. "This isn't from orbit." "No," Anya agreed. "It is planetary in origin. Then what the hell is transmitting?" Anya's gaze shifted toward the distant mountains, ones that pulsed faintly at night. "There." She said they left at dawn. The journey took 3 days across terrain that grew increasingly hostile, razor-edged stone fields, valleys filled with whispering mist that interfered with sensors, in stretches of ground that resonated faintly underfoot, As if hollow, Elias felt every step in his knees, his spine, his lungs, but he didn't stop. The structure revealed itself slowly at first. It looked like a natural formation, another jagged rise among many. But as they drew closer, geometric patterns emerged. Smooth surfaces, symmetry, doorways, a facility. Ancient human, Elias, breath caught. This isn't possible. Enya's voice was quiet. It was built before your species left Earth. They entered cautiously. Inside, the air was stale, but breathable. Lights flickered on as they passed, systems awakening from centuries of dormancy. The corridors were lined with faded insignia, surly Terran symbols, long abandoned. Holographic logs activated as they moved deeper, scientists speaking of transcendence, of limits, of fear, of the decision to stop waiting for extinction and become something else. At the heart of the facility, they found the chamber and the truth. Humanity hadn't only fled dying worlds, it had Evergidas, who could not leave Earth in ships, had chosen another path uploading, transforming, merging with alien intelligences discovered beneath the planet's crust. Anya turned to Elias. This was the first attempt, she said. I am the continuation. Elias sank to his knees. All this time, he whispered, we thought we were alone. We're never meant to be, Anya said. The choice was presented without coercion. Remain. Human, age, fade, die alone on a quiet world. Or join her not as a machine. Not as a ghost, but as something enduring. Elias looked at his hand scarred, trembling. Human, then at Anya. Will I still be me? Anya knelt before him, her forehead touching his gently. Yes, she said. Just more. The transformation was not violent. It was warm, like stepping into sunlight after a lifetime underground. When Elias opened his eyes, the universe felt larger, clearer. And somewhere beyond Eosnine, a signal echoed outward. Human voices coming home.